Okay, let me just do. So we are looking at 3 things no one talks about, but you should, just for the people that are actually just coming on live. And most exhaustion isn't physical; it's energetic, and also we'll be discussing your field and how it affects everyone you meet and how you affect theirs too. And also we'll be discussing what is the, God, my brain's just went dead there. How your soul doesn't yell, it disconnects. Yeah? Maybe not in that order, but we'll be discussing that. Let me know if any of that. Yeah, happy Mother's Day, everybody. So most exhaustion isn't physical, it's energetic. You're not tired because you did too much. You're tired because you're holding too much. Now, what's really happening in the bodies, the mental body, the psychological body, there's overthinking equals overheating. That constant decision fatigue. I know I've certainly been there. Looping on things that don't even belong to you. You're trying to figure it out when the mind is already at capacity. So what symptoms you'll have is brain fog, panic scrolls, when you're just needing to numb out those distractions, or you're not bad at making decisions. Your mind's just full of noise that's not yours, yeah? Or what's happening in the emotional body, where you have heavy, you feel that heavy, dense way, and that is you're holding the emotions. You're absorbing everyone else's emotional baggage, especially if you're an empath or a healer. Yeah. So, and what's actually happening here is you're suppressing your own feelings to hold it together for others. So you're carrying unspoken grief, which could be resentment, also sadness. Like there's those silent bricks are, going on top of each other, and you just feel it all in your chest or your stomach area. Now, symptoms you'll feel from that is flatness. You'll be quick, you'll be triggered. You'll be triggered into rage or tears, or you'll just have a shutdown, that internal, meh. What we have all been there. It's not that you don't care anymore, it's that you care too much and never let it move through you. Yeah, you're holding on to it. So what's happening in the physical body is because your physical body, remember, is a signal. It's not the source. The physical body is trying to tell you something. And the body takes the hit last. It's a storage unit for all the unprocessed crap from the other bodies. So your fatigue, your tension, your aches, they're just signals. They're not the source. Yeah. And the symptoms here, especially if they go unheeded, is chronic illness, or those weird aches, even hormonal swings like tight jaws, shoulders, gut. We've all been there, yeah. And burnout isn't from doing; it's from being out of alignment with your soul, yeah. Because if you're if you're out of alignment with your soul, I know in my case, because I've had 3 burnouts, it was I was a workaholic. So you're going to have a workaholic when you're out of alignment. And I always thought it was from doing, but that was part of it. But most of it was because I was out of alignment with what my soul purpose would be, what soul was yearning for. So the spiritual body is when it feels disconnected. When it feels disconnected, what actually happens is you numb or you feel drained. Doesn't necessarily mean you lost your purpose. You're just disconnected from your source. And this happens to a lot of people I see. Even when people are saying they're spiritual, I see this. And you're not feeling inspired because your field is just too full to receive. Take that in. Yeah, you're not feeling inspired. You're just because your field is just too full, so you can't receive anything. So what symptoms you'll feel here is loss of meaning, questioning everything, spiritual doubt, not trusting the self. What's the point energy? What's the point of doing this? Yeah. Because your soul is always available, but it's your field that's offline. It's your energetic field. This is why it's really important, guys, to get in touch with your nervous system, your energetic system. And how it all collapses, you push through with mindset work. This is what most people do. You keep giving emotionally. You override your body's signals, and you wonder why manifestation feels impossible. Yeah, you're trying to manifest, and it's just nothing is happening, or very, very small, you know. But you need to flip it. You're not broken. You're just full. And the most powerful thing you can do right now is clear your field and sink back in. Now we have the energetic upgrade experience happening tomorrow. Starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK. And there's a link, I'm sure, in the comments for you to come over and help us. Now, if you've actually signed up, because there's over 300 people signed up, there's very few people come over to the Facebook group, which tells me they haven't had the email with the Facebook group in. The Facebook group is called Energetic Upgrade Experience. Just come over to it. Yeah, the only thing about signing up is you get the replays from it, and you will want the replays from this because we're going deep. Simple, but it will blow your mind of what we're going to do there. So another thing is your soul doesn't yell, it really disconnects. Yeah. So if you feel numb, flat, disconnected, you've tried everything, you're sick of trying everything, your soul hasn't left. It's just muted beneath all the noise that you've created, yeah, or other people have created. Because your soul, it whispers through sensations, that soft voice, but even if you've got that tight chest or that gut hits or the shivers or whatever it is that goes through, your soul is there trying, that silent voice that most of us ignore, yeah, because they're waiting for that loud sign that never comes, because it doesn't. Because when it's soul led, it's always a whisper, yeah. And true power comes from being in that quiet presence and not force. Hello, Carol, how are you doing, darling? So if you feel numb, you feel disconnected, your soul, remember, your soul's not left. It's just muted. It's muted beneath all that noise, yeah? And this is what's going on within the four bodies when your soul goes quiet, yeah? So the mental body, the psychological, which is drowning in static, when you get that loop of those thoughts and they just go going round and round and round, and you just can't get peace from them. That overthinking becomes your coping mechanism because the silence feels too scary. Yeah. And some people are actually addicted, to that toxic noise, that overthinking that goes on. I certainly used to be very addicted to it, but I didn't know what else to do about it. It just always there. It didn't matter what I did, it was just always there. So what's happening here is you're just listening to fear-based logic, not soul truth. Yeah. And what symptoms can do that you'll find here is the thoughts will just spiral. They'll just keep, they'll think of things that will never ever happen, but it'll be the worst things that could happen. Yeah. You'll compare yourself, especially to others or to something else that's happened. Or there'll be a pressure there to figure it out. Why? Why is this? Why is that? What if I do this? What if I do? you know, and what you're actually doing is you're numbing with the planning or the procrastination that's going on. Let me know in the comments, guys. Does this resonate with you? Because I know I've certainly been there. Yeah, in the emotional body, where the shutdown, and what you're doing here when there's nothing there, numb, just numb. And this is often a trauma response. You're going numb to survive the intensity. You can't handle it. You can handle it, but you just don't know how. Yeah. And the symptoms here is obviously flatness, emotional void, pushing people away. You don't even know you're doing it because it's unconscious. You're just putting that wall up. You're pushing people away, and apathy is because remember, guys, disconnection is not failure. It's your nervous system doing its best to keep you safe. Yeah. Now, when the physical whispers through the sensation, your soul uses the body as a messenger. Yeah. So if you feel a tight chest, this isn't all, but mostly, if you feel that tight chest, there's withheld truth there, especially when you feel it coming up the throat. You know when you get that feeling, you know, and it comes up like that. If you're feeling that you're not speaking your truth, there's a withheld truth here. Yeah. If your gut's twisted, you know, you're feeling that, oh, we've all got that. You're off path, you're not aligned. There's something off. Yeah. And if you, I call them the hot flushes, the shivers, there's resonance. Yeah. And now, sometimes when I get those, nowadays anyway, because I used to get hot flushes all the time, menopausal. But nowadays, if I get those hot flushes, especially when I'm doing the internal work, that's my nervous system saying to me, yeah, they've heard me. Yeah, we've got that. You know, because I work a lot with my nervous system and my energetic system for that reason, because I know how powerful they are. But most of us override it because we were never taught to listen. Yeah. Now, what the symptoms will be here is chronic tension, shallow breath, gut issues, and fatigue, especially sudden fatigue. Yeah. Because your soul doesn't show up in words, it shows up in sensations. Just always remember that. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, guys. Yeah, because I think it's really important to be aware at a deeper level of what's actually going on with the self. Spiritual body, you know, it's muted. You know, it's not missing, it's just muted. And your guides haven't abandoned you. They didn't abandon you. Yeah, you didn't lose your gifts. I don't know how many people say to me, "Oh, I can't connect anymore. I don't know what's going on. My spirit team have left the building. They've effed off." Yeah, you're just too. You're fried, or you've got a force. You know, there's a force that you've got to. You're trying to force that feeling to raise your frequency. You know, and that's when your soul goes quiet, when the field is overloaded, because it will. You're still divine, you're just in distortion. So just be aware of that. If anybody is actually feeling that you are can't connect anymore, check in, see, you know, with the cell. This is what we're going to be doing in the energetic upgrade experience. We'll be checking in at a deep level. Now, the real cost of disconnection is you start questioning your purpose. You don't trust yourself. You doubt your path. You know, you settle for strategies instead of synchronicity. You work harder, but you feel emptier. That used to be me. And your soul never leaves. It just waits. It just waits for you to slow down enough to feel it again. And that is in stillness. That's where your real power lives. Yeah. Now, your field also affects everyone you meet, and they affect yours. And you don't even need to speak. Your energy just walks in first. You know yourself. When you've walked into a place and there's maybe someone that's had an argument, and you can really feel that argument. They don't need to say, "Yeah, we're fine, we're okay," but you can actually know there's something off. And that's why some rooms, when you go into them, not just because of that, but energy drains you, especially if you're an empath or sensitive, completely drains it. And why some conversations feel like emotional hangovers. Yeah, we've all got those friends where we have had a good chat with them and we've came away feeling absolutely drained. Yeah. So and why syncing with your soul really does protect your peace, because it sets the tone for everything. Yeah. And here's what's really been going on with the psychological body, the invisible download, I call it. Because before your brain says a word, it's already picking up micro signals. You can feel tension, judgment, expectation, and suddenly you start thinking thoughts that aren't even yours. Yeah, you've been fine, and then suddenly those thoughts just start, because you've picked up on the energy. And the symptoms here could be you're second guessing everything. You have imposter syndrome. There's confusion mid conversation. Many people have had that, and I certainly have. I think, what's going on? Especially if we tune into ourselves, and we really sometimes it's a good practice to actually tune in to see, is it my thoughts or is this someone else's? Especially when you're wondering if you suddenly feel like shit. Yeah. Is this mine or is it someone else's? Always trust yourself that much to see. And what's happening in the emotional body is, remember, the energetic vibe, it doesn't lie. Yeah, the emotional body absorbs unspoken stuff. So that friend who dumps but never asks how you are, they just, but they never say, how are you doing? You're just there listening. Yeah. Or the client who's smiling but is energetically resentful. It doesn't matter what you say. They're but, yeah, but, no, that, yeah. That again is energetic. Yeah. Or the Zoom room that feels like walking into soup. You just feel that energy, because you don't have to be in one-on-one, impersonal with the person. Energy, you can be on the other side of the world and feel it. So what will happen here is mood swings. Anger can entail anxiety, that sudden rage that comes in, especially if you're triggered. And then this feeling that you're wiped out after those conversations. You're just tired. You're just like you're numbing, yeah? Because you're not too sensitive. You're tuned in, yeah? You just haven't been taught to shield or clear the energy the correct way. Let me know in the comments, is this you? Do you feel this, yeah? Because remember, guys, the physical body is the reactor. Your body immediately reacts to field shifts. So if you feel your body, your shoulders slumping or they get tight, yeah, your energy was just drained. If you feel that's your energy drain, yeah. Or there's sudden tension in your jaw, your gut, your shoulders. You're bracing against something unspoken. You'll feel that tight angst. Or you feel small or invisible. You just shrank to match someone else's energy. And when we've got big purpose, we'll feel that a lot. That we're quieting down in other people's energy. So the symptoms you'll feel here is instant fatigue. It just comes in. Just all of a sudden you just feel really tired. What used to happen to me when I had energy that people were either dumping on me energetically or they were sucking the life force out of me is I would literally, as if I was falling asleep whilst I was talking to them, even whilst I was driving and they were sitting next to me, I would feel myself, which was dangerous. Yeah. And I remember that used to happen. A couple of people, particularly, it used to happen with me all the time. They say, "What the hell's going on here?" And that's what it was. It was just because my physical body could feel that energy drain, the energy getting sucked out of me. Or there's your breathing changes, clenched jaw, desire to flee. You just want to run away from the situation. You want to run away from everything. You're just tired. You're just sick of it all. Yeah. Now, always remember that your body doesn't lie. It is your first field response system. So if you're feeling it in the body, your energetic system, your nervous system is trying to say something to you. They're trying to get your attention. Your soul is maybe trying to get your attention as well. And remember, your spiritual body, that's the frequency carrier. Your field sets the tone. It either leads the room or it fuses with its chaos. Yeah, which one would you prefer? I know I would certainly prefer to lead the room as opposed to being in chaos. So syncing with your soul, your spiritual body, it really does calibrate your field to truth. So you're not swayed by every vibration, every vibe that's around you, any toxic energy, because when your spiritual body's online, others feel your presence before you even speak. People don't remember what you said. However, they do remember how your field made them feel. And you know that yourself. You always remember how people make you feel. You always remember someone who was very kind. Maybe don't remember their words, but you always remember the kindness that they gave you. But on the other hand, you always remember somebody who was not so kind, very angry. Yeah. And why this matters, guys, because you're not drained because you did too much. You're drained because you merged with misalignment. And most people nowadays, they're walking around wide open. They're leaking energy. They're absorbing junk, and they're calling it normal. But this is just how it is. But if you sync with your soul, with your four bodies, which gives your field structure, it gives it strength, it gives it sovereignty. And remember, your energy is your first language. Let it speak with confidence, calmness, truth. And let it speak without a word to others. Because they feel it. Yeah. And this isn't about doing more. It's really about sinking in so deeply that your energy really starts to lead the way. And when you're in sync, life moves differently. So expand that energy, and in Soul Sync Sunday, it's not about fixing here. It's about returning back to your power, the peace, the pleasure that's always there under the noise. Feel it. Anchor it in and lead from it. Because what will happen is the rest, it aligns itself. And if you'd like to be shown how to do all this, remember the free 3-day energetic upgrade starts tomorrow. Link is in the comments, on the description, sorry. And it is saa.anvarney.com/energetic/upgrade. Or come over to the Energetic Upgrade Experience Facebook, where it's all held tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK. Really looking forward to this. And you'll also get web codes in here too. You'll also have what your archetype is, what's actually going on at a deeper level with the system. And each day is, first day is initiation, second day is activation, and third day is transmission. And it will blow your mind. Hopefully see you there. Speak to you later. Bye-bye. Have a great Mother's Day, all you mothers out there, as I'm from Costa Rica and Puerto Rico. I probably said that wrong, but speak to you later. See all who's at the energetic upgrade tomorrow. And as I say, if you've signed up and you haven't had anything from me, it's in your junk. You've not seen the emails, because a lot of people have signed up, but hardly anybody's came over to the group. Speak to you later, guys. Bye-bye. Don't know what's there. Hearing myself talk there.